Hey, what's up everybody? Eternal Fire here, and today we're going to be talking about something that's very important to me personally, and I've been keeping a close eye on. It's something that I've definitely wanted to make a video about because it's worth taking action now, so later you don't have to regret it. So what I'm talking about is I'm talking about artifact skins. So Ian Hazakostas had a interview Q&A with Lore, and one of the questions that was brought up is what's going to happen with the Legion artifact skins. So basically, what they're thinking right now, and they're not entirely sure about what they're going to do, is most of the skins you are going to be able to go back in later expansions. You're going to go back, you are going to have the ability to go back to Legion and farm the artifact skins. Now, here's the big thing, with the exception, most likely, of the Mage Tower artifact skins, and then also the Mythic plus 15 artifact skin as well. So you should be able, by that knowledge, you should be able to get the balance of power skin, but just not the color variation of the Mythic plus 15. So that's really interesting, and that's good to know because that should prioritize what you're going to be farming. Ideally on your main, you're going to want to get most of them. For me, I just know, I can easily, not easily, but I can get all of them on my main anyway, without the PvP, because I really don't PvP at all, but I'm not too worried about that either. The big ones you're going to want to focus on is getting the Mythic plus 15 artifact skin completed, obtained, and then getting your Mage Tower done if you haven't done it already. And the reason you want to do that again is because they're kind of treating those skins like a skill-based thing. So obviously you go into a later expansion and those are not, it's not a challenge anymore. There's no skill involved. You just go in one shot cruel on the tank challenge, and now you have something that was incredibly hard to get, especially prior to Tomb of Sargeras being released. In those few weeks when you could do the Mage Tower, only a few people were able to do it, compared to the rest of the community. So to give people the artifact skin and an expansion later that was such a challenge to get, it's not fair to the people who obtained it when it was current content. That's my opinion, but they're treating it like the challenge modes from Mists of Pandaria and Warlords of Draenor. In Mists of Pandaria, you had each class had their own armor set that was transmoggable, and now it's unobtainable, and the Warlords of Draenor weapon set that if you got it, it became account bound, which was really nice. But that's how they're treating it. So keep that on your mind. So when you're thinking of what can I do right now, if the Mage Tower is up and you haven't done it yet, I highly recommend getting in there and doing it, because it may not be there when Legion ends, and we probably have around a year left of Legion. So that's plenty of time to gear up and go complete those things. And if you're having trouble with Mythic Plus dungeons, I would recommend waiting for a week where, if you play with friends or whatever, I would recommend waiting for a week where, it's like Sanguine Volcanic, or, some very minuscule affix versus, something more challenging. So that's just my input on that. But that's really what I wanted to say, guys. It's just, I'm a big fan of challenge modes. I really miss the fact that challenge modes are gone, and now you just have a couple artifact skins, which for the Mage Tower, that's okay, because, you got a really awesome weapon transmog. But the main thing that I want to see, or I would like to see, is those challenging ones, the skill-based ones, again being Mythic plus 15 and the Mage Tower, become unobtainable at the end of Legion. And I think it would be cool if you could go back in Legion, for the next expansion, you could go backwards into Legion and you could farm some of the simpler, like the hidden artifacts, or just the base artifacts or whatever. I think that would be fine to do, because people still want to be able to obtain skins like you always have been in past expansions, minus the challenge ones, because you've never been able to go back to Mists of Pandaria and get those skins. So it's just something really interesting to keep an eye on, definitely something to work for. And that's the kind of, if I'm going to do any type of news, that's what I want to do, is like the stuff like, hey, listen, this is, what they're thinking right now. And granted, Ian said that, nothing's written in stone, but, that's what we got for right now. So as it stands right now from the Q&A with Ian Hazakostas, they may be letting you go back with the minus the challenge or skill-based artifact skins. So that is all I got for you guys right now. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, because that's what we're all about here at the Eternal Fire YouTube channel, trying to help other people. So if you guys have any input, any ideas on that and how to get it for folks who, you know, may not have the gear or time to farm the gear to do those things, I'd love to hear about it. If you guys have any questions, you know, you can always hit me up. The Brawlers Guild comes in seasons, so last season if you completed all the ranks, you were able to buy the Brawlers Burly, Mush, and Beast. However, this is now unavailable as the season ended, and it's now an unobtainable mount. So, this season, there's the Brawlers Burly Basilisk, and you can get that by completing all the ranks this season. But it's something that you want to do before the pre-patch to the next expansion, because when that comes, it's going to no longer be available. So what you want to do is you want to go to the Brawlers Guild. If you don't have an invite, look up how to get an invite to the Brawlers Guild and start getting through the ranks. Currently in the patch 725 in the TOS, if you have Tuma Sargeras gear, item level wise, you should be able to DPS through all the bosses from beginning to end with no problem. Some of the bosses have one-shot mechanics, but honestly, you're probably going to kill most of them before you even see what they are, or you might, you know, wipe once and then see what the mechanic is, and then at that point you just kind of clean it up and your DPS is going to carry you the rest of the way. That's what I did. I only just got it in 7.2, but the Basilisk is definitely worth it. It's a really cool mount to have. While we're on the topic of things to do before Legion ends, one thing definitely worth noting is the titles you can get from killing the last boss in Mythic raids. For instance, if you kill Mythic Kill Jaden, you get the Darkener. If you kill where is he? Gul'dan on Mythic, you get Vengeance Incarnate for a title. For Helia, you get the Chosen, and then for Xavius, you get the Dreamer. So if you kill those bosses on Mythic, you get those titles. Now at the end of Legion, those titles are going to go away. The mounts are still going to be obtainable if you kill them on Mythic and later expansions, but the drop is going to be like every other expansion, extremely low. So what does that mean? It means that before Legion ends, you should try to go back and pug those as Mythic. But you think to yourself, well, you know, I'm not a Mythic Raider, I'm only a normal Raider or a Heroic Raider. How am I ever going to possibly do that? You can simply go to LFR, pre-made groups, go to Raids Legion, and if you're not into pugging, this is how you would do it. And you're going to type in Mythic. Okay, you see what pops up. This is available. The Nighthold Mythic, Trial of Valor Mythic, and Emerald Nightmare are Mythic because Tomb of Sargeras is the current raid, which will not be something you can do in a pre-made group until Argus is out and, you know, that raid is now the current raid. You'll be able to go back and do this. So right now, Emerald Nightmare is extremely doable on Mythic. Trial of Valor is still going to give you a run for your money, and the Nighthold is still difficult. But it's definitely something you're going to be able to do, especially since we still have a year left of Legion. By the end of the expansion, you're going to be extremely geared and most likely able to go in and just get these titles no problem before the expansion ends. But like a lot of these other things that I've said in this video, those titles are going to be something that when the pre-patch to the next expansion arrives, you're not going to be able to get those titles anymore. They're going to be taken out of the game and they're going to become a prestige item. So prestige items are a really great thing in my opinion, because for the people who do get them, it just adds all the more nostalgia. And for the people who couldn't get them, you know, Blizzard really does try to make it possible for you to do it. Meaning, like, basically because they added to the pre-made group. So you can go in and you can do it even if you're not regularly a Mythic Raider, right? You can go in and do it after it's old tier. So that's definitely another thing to do when you are looking for things to do in Legion that will not be available when the next expansion arrives. Anyway, that's what I got for right now. You got to get those skins before they become unobtainable. And again, we don't know if they will be or not, but for right now, it's looking like those two different types of skins will be unobtainable when Legion is over. And then you want to get your titles and you want to get that mount from the Brawlers Guild, because those things are for sure going to be unobtainable when Legion ends. And it's just one of those things that it's like you want to get it now while you can, and, you know, focus on it, because an expansion or two from now, you're going to regret not taking the time to do it when you were able to. You know, it's always nice to be able to get unobtainable gear that later on it's just prestige stuff. You know, it feels really great to have and equip, and other people can't get it. You know what I mean? that's one of my biggest regrets with Miss Pandaria is not doing the challenge mode gold timer on as many characters that I could possibly do it on. If I could go back in time, I would do it, but I can't. So moving forward, looking at the future, that's what I'm going to do every expansion when it comes to stuff that's going to become unobtainable. Anyway, guys, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, leave a like, comment, subscribe. If I missed anything that's going to become unobtainable for the next, after Legion is over, please let me know in the comments, and I will definitely address that in the future. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next one.